AI, Work and Human Identity, Understanding the Emotional Impact of Artificial Intelligence. Episode 6 of 20, When Technology Makes You Question Your Own Value. You're listening to the Emotional Intelligence Developer Podcast. This is Episode 6, When Technology Makes You Question Your Own Value. There's a question underneath all the conversation about artificial intelligence that isn't always easy to talk about. Not, can AI do my job? But, if AI can do what I do, does that mean I'm less valuable? That's a much more personal question. And you might not even say it out loud. You might just feel it. You see AI producing something in seconds that used to take you hours. You see someone using technology to do something you've spent years learning. You hear people talking about the future of work, automation, and productivity. And somewhere in the back of your mind, you start wondering, what exactly am I bringing to the table anymore? That thought can affect you more than you realize. Because your confidence isn't always built around who you are. Sometimes it's built around what you're good at. You know you're good at your job. People rely on you. You solve problems. You have experience. You know things other people don't. That gives you a sense of competence. Then technology changes the environment around you. And suddenly, something that made you feel capable doesn't feel quite as special anymore. That's where the problem begins. Because there's a difference between your skill becoming less rare and you becoming less valuable. Those aren't the same thing. But emotionally, they can feel like the same thing. And if you don't recognize that difference, you can start attacking your own confidence. You might think, I'm falling behind. Then, maybe I'm not that good anymore. Then, maybe other people are going to be more valuable than me. And eventually, the technology isn't even the main problem. Your perception of yourself is. That's why emotional intelligence matters here. You need to be able to notice when an external change is starting to change the way you see yourself. Because technology doesn't get to decide your worth. Neither does your job title. Neither does your salary. Neither does how quickly you can complete a task. Those things can tell you something about your professional position. They don't tell you everything about your value. Think about it. If a calculator can perform a calculation faster than you, does that make you less intelligent? No. If a navigation system can find a route faster than you, does that make you incapable of understanding where you're going? No. If AI can produce a first draft faster than you, does that mean your judgment no longer matters? Not necessarily. The important question is what happens after the technology produces something. Who decides whether it's correct? Who understands the context? Who knows what shouldn't be said? Who understands the person on the other side of the decision? Who takes responsibility when something goes wrong? Technology can change the task. But the human responsibility surrounding that task doesn't automatically disappear. And that's something worth remembering when your confidence takes a hit. You don't have to be better than technology at everything. You need to understand where your human capabilities matter. Maybe that's judgment. Maybe it's communication. Maybe it's leadership. Maybe it's creativity. Maybe it's understanding people. Maybe it's knowing when something doesn't feel right. Maybe it's being able to handle a difficult conversation that no software can have for you. And maybe it's your ability to learn something completely new. That last one is particularly important. Because if you believe your value comes only from what you already know, technological change will always feel threatening. But if part of your identity is, I'm someone who can learn, then change becomes different. You don't have to know everything. You just need to believe you can keep developing. That's a much more resilient form of confidence. And there's another trap to watch for. Comparison. You see someone using AI extremely well. They seem faster. They seem more productive. They seem more knowledgeable. And you start comparing your entire career with what you're seeing from that one person. That's not a fair comparison. You're seeing their output. You aren't seeing their doubts. You aren't seeing what they don't understand. You aren't seeing the mistakes they make. And you certainly aren't seeing their entire life. So be careful about turning someone else's technological advantage into evidence that you're personally inadequate. Instead, ask, what can I learn from them? That's a very different response. Comparison says, They're better than me. Learning says, what can I take from what they're doing? One damages confidence. The other develops it. And this doesn't mean you should ignore your weaknesses. Quite the opposite. If technology is exposing a gap in your skills, that's useful information. You can do something about useful information. Maybe you need to learn how to use AI. Maybe you need stronger communication skills. Maybe you need to improve your technical knowledge. Maybe you need to become better at decision-making. Maybe you need to understand your industry more deeply. That's development. But development becomes much harder when you're constantly telling yourself that you're not good enough. You learn better when you can say, there is something I don't know yet, instead of, there is something wrong with me because I don't know it. That little word matters. Yet? I don't know it yet. I'm not good at it yet. I haven't figured it out yet. It doesn't mean you'll automatically become an expert. It means you're leaving room for development instead of closing the door with a judgment about yourself. And if you're struggling with your confidence right now, take some time to understand what's actually happening underneath it. Are you afraid of becoming irrelevant? Are you comparing yourself with other people? Are you frustrated because technology is moving faster than you can learn? Are you measuring your worth through productivity? Or have you simply forgotten that your job is only one part of your life? Those questions matter. Because you can't strengthen your confidence properly if you don't understand what's weakening it. That's something you can explore through the free well-being tools, quizzes, and resources available on the Emotional Intelligence Developer website. Use them to examine your self-awareness, confidence, emotional patterns, and overall well-being. Because the goal isn't to convince yourself that you're amazing. The goal is to understand yourself accurately. That's much more useful. Artificial intelligence may become more capable. Your industry may change. The skills that are valuable today may not be the same skills that are valuable tomorrow. But none of that requires you to make yourself smaller. It requires you to keep developing. So when technology makes you question your own value, pause before you answer that question. Don't let a machine answer it for you. Don't let your employer answer it for you. And don't let comparison answer it for you either. Ask yourself, what do I bring that matters? Then ask, what do I need to develop next? Those two questions can take you much further than fear ever will. This has been episode 6 of 20 in AI, Work and Human Identity, Understanding the Emotional Impact of Artificial Intelligence from the Emotional Intelligence Developer podcast. Continue with the series as we explore how artificial intelligence is changing work, confidence, identity, and the way we understand our own value. And remember, your value isn't determined by how quickly technology can perform a task. It's determined by the human capability you continue to develop.